Hey y'all, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today we have a video from the Joe Rogan podcast. He had on David Buss, who is an American psychologist, and he was talking, they spent some time talking about like social media and especially like your partner being on social media. So let's say in this case your wife or something like that, or your girlfriend, and she's posting sexy pics and that kind of thing, and how that affects men and women in the relationship.
Here's something that I really wanted to talk to you about today, because I think it's a new thing in the world, and it is social media and social media's effect on relationships and the way people are marketing themselves. Because I have seen friends that have these relationships with people that they like. Their significant other has a Instagram page, for example, where every single pose is sexually suggestive. They're in a committed relationship, but every single pose is them of their ass, their butt in the air, their arched back, they're covered in sweat, they're wearing lingerie, they're wearing a very small outfit, they're in these suggestive poses. I'm like, you're signaling to try to get more mates. You're putting out this very clear signal that you're available and that you're looking for a romantic partner. In fact, you're horny and you're ready and you're willing, and there's not even anybody there with you, right? Which is kind of wild. Yeah. What I would imagine that would put a tremendous strain on a committed relationship. If you are committed to someone, and then you're like, well, let me see what my wife is up to. And you go to her Instagram page, like, Jesus Christ, woman. Where every day she's essentially throwing the bat signal up for more men.
Yeah. I want to ask everybody watching this video right now, if your wife was literally doing that, what he's saying there. You got lingerie pictures, you got sweaty gym workout pictures, bikini pictures. It's clearly suggestive. How many of you guys are going to just be like, cool? I'm sure there's going to be a good chunk of people will be like, well, fine, she can do what she wants to do. But I think there's going to be more people who would not be okay with that. I think I would fall in the category of not being okay with it. I try not to be a controlling person, but this is probably the wrong way to go, because over the long run, it would bother me and it would just be a thing.
Yeah. No, I imagine most men in committed relationships would be rather alarmed at discovering that.
But it's happening a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends, more than one, whose wife or girlfriend does this.
And what's your guess? Why are they doing that?
Well, I think it's what we talked about before. There's narcissism. There's some sort of a lack of attention, a fundamental lack of attention in the development cycle that's led them to desire an exorbitant amount of male attention as they get older. It's almost like their cycle was interrupted as they were young. It had never fully matured, whether their father wasn't around or their father was abusive, either physically or sexually, like whatever it is that's causing them to desire an exorbitant amount of male attention.
Yeah. That's
and then it becomes, and then the other part of the problem is it becomes a business. Because a lot of these women, they will then start. Do you know what an OnlyFans is?
Yeah.
So they'll then start an OnlyFans, and so men will subscribe to get small messages from them, or to get individualized photos or videos from them, and these women make an extraordinary amount of money.
Yeah,
and it's really quite shocking. So they're making way more than they've ever made in their life doing this, but yet they're in a committed relationship with a man.
I did a video on the OnlyFans thing where I actually did a deep dive into the background, how much they make. People who are signed up to it, like who are subscribing to the models and stuff, like it's actually crazy. You can watch the whole video there on my channel. It's in its own section under OnlyFans. But literally, I just share the craziest part. 90% of the people who use OnlyFans are married. And you might be saying, oh, it's all men. Oh, those dirty, dirty men. It's actually not all men. I think it was, if I remember correctly, 64% men. I mean, it's still a majority, but there's still a lot of women on there.
And so the man has to deal with the fact that not only is his woman out there, like on display, but she's signaling that she's desiring better mates.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think your point about some developmental issue is relevant. We do have empirical data on attachment styles. So basically, there are these, they call them 3 different attachment styles, which is an oversimplification, but securely attached. So, do you tend to trust other people? You feel confident in a stable relationship. There's anxious attached, which is you're always worried your partner is going to leave you or cheat on you, or maybe you have a history of partners leaving you or cheating on you. And then there's what's called ambivalent attachment style, where there are people, both men and women, who they don't really want an intimate romantic relationship. They kind of avoid, if someone gets too close, they kind of push them away. And in studies of infidelity, the securely attached have the lowest rates of infidelity, and my guess probably the lowest rates of these Instagram posts or OnlyFans vocations. Whereas, and then the second is the anxious attached, but the most is in terms of infidelity rate is the avoidant attachment style. And so women with that avoidant attachment
I feel like it's perfectly named. They're avoidant
style are also likely to be high on narcissism and probably engage in that behavior. And also,
Could you please explain avoidant attachment?
Yeah. So these are people who don't like close, intimate relationships, and so they avoid them and try to be. If it gets too close, they push them away. They want to maintain their independence. And so even if they're married, there's this distance. There's always this pushing away of the other person and of intimacy, psychological intimacy with that other person. And so these are, women who are more likely to engage in short-term mating and more likely to have affairs if they're in a long-term mateship.
Okay, I found that quite interesting. Now, I've read the attachment book, so I know what they're talking about with the avoidant, anxious, and then secure attachment styles. And I think there's even anxious and avoidant together, or like you're a mix. But that is interesting to me. So all these women or whatever, right, it's mostly women on Instagram, they were posting these photos. They're the ones who a lot of times are these avoidant attachment styles. So they're in a relationship, but they don't really want to be. So they're out there like posting these pictures of them, their sexy ass or whatever it is, and getting validation from other guys, but who they don't really want to have relationships with. Maybe they would have sex with them, but they don't really want to have a relationship with them because they're avoidant, but they want the attention. So it's like this weird back and forth thing. It's actually kind of messed up. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I think I took away a lot from it. I hope you guys did too. And I look forward to hearing your comments below. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.